Hi, my name is Ronnie. I am a black woman. I'm 18 years old, and I was born in San Antonio, Texas, but I grew up in Northern Virginia. And being black in America means that racism has an effect on you in like nearly every facet of your life. So it was really weird going through school and like seeing kids that just didn't think about it because it wasn't an optional thing for me. It was like, this is literally what my family and what my past and what my present and future are built off of. So um, I remember a lot of confusion. I remember being a kid and visiting Jamestown as part of a third grade field trip and going to the slave quarters and feeling really confused why everyone was staring at me and the other black kids like they were expecting a reaction when we were just 8 years old. Um, but as I got older, I kind of realized the effect that kind of subversive type of racism has, because the racism you learn in school is, like police hosing down black people and setting attack dogs on them and the Ku Klux Klan and things like that, just very overt displays of violence. So I think it's a little more difficult to explain to people that racism isn't just being violent towards black people or outwardly hating them and calling them all types of slurs and names and things like that. It can be much more subtle, like walking down the hallway with natural hair and then having kids go up behind you and touch it and like be surprised at the fact that it's soft, like they were expecting it to feel like steel wool or something. Or when you have a name like mine, going into a room and the teacher calls it and being really surprised when a short black girl holds up their hand instead of like a white kid. So um, I think it gets frustrating talking about it with people who've never really experienced it. Like they've been in their own little bubbles and they haven't really had a lot of interaction with people who have experienced it. I think there's some conflict that arises out of it because what I've found, especially coming here, is that kids want to um, kind of silence it almost, kind of just want to block it out. And it gets really frustrating for people like me who've literally grown up with this and this is their background. Because we want to explain it and we want people to understand and know about it. Like this isn't something that we want to just keep to ourselves, Like you make the world a better place by bringing more awareness to it. And the frustration comes when people just don't seem receptive to it. That because it isn't the type of racism that they learned in their U.S. history course, then it can't be racism. And I've experienced a lot where people refuse to examine their various privileges because they aren't racist and they've never owned slaves and their father hasn't owned slaves and their like family haven't owned slaves, that they don't have to look at themselves and reflect and understand the allowances they've been given to by society that really highly favors white people. And I think what I want to really do, especially with my friends and the people that I've met here who haven't had a lot of experience with that, is just bring it to their attention, explain to them why, talking in a quote unquote sassy black woman voice is actually pretty damaging, why painting your faces darker than they want to is pretty, disrespectful, why having cornrows or dreadlocks and things like that is appropriative. So I just get frustrated and I kind of get disheartened when people don't want to listen, because I've had to, and this kind of seems rude, but like I've had to listen to white history my entire life pretty much. So like hearing like talking about black history, I think they can stand to sit and understand it. And as for the person it like experiencing racism. As for the person that's made me, I think it's forced me to grow up a lot faster and understand the effects my words and actions have on people more, because I do have different personalities depending on the group I have, just to be taken seriously. Like around my friends, I can use more slang and be more like outgoing and loud and things like that, but around like in a professional setting, I can't really get away with that. And it's the same for everybody, but there's a different expectation, I think, placed on Black people, especially Black women. I find that I have to keep my voice a lot lower and try and hide my accent as much as possible, and hold myself a different way to even have people consider me for jobs. Like, not even be hired, just consider me, to even look at what I have to offer. So I think it's made me grow up a lot faster and to understand tone and how things are phrased, and to look deeper into the subtext of things, because I don't really have the luxury to ignore things like that, because it does affect my life. It does affect the things that I do. So I think I have a better understanding of people and where they come from, more so than, say, someone who hasn't gone through the same stuff that I have. So I mean, in a weird, twisted way, I'm thankful for it, because I can't imagine not having this ability to self-reflect and examine how I say things and grow up, basically, and be mature. But at the same time, it's pretty shitty that it happened anyways. In a perfect world, it would have never happened. So I wouldn't even have to deal with this. But, you know, you just have to make do with what you have. And I'm trying to be the best person I can be, especially so I don't have to have the same experience as my mom and my dad and my aunts and uncles and great aunts and great uncles and all that have had, dealing with people who hated them just because of what they looked like. So I'm just trying to make the world a better place, one angry social justice rant at a time.